All right, good morning. This is file 217087, Meadow Lane versus Jody Ferguson and other occupants. And is there an attorney here for Meadow Lane?
Yes, Your Honor. Attorney Ian Morton of Pallets Law on behalf of Meadow Lane.
All right,
Try that one more time. Attorney Ian Morton on behalf of Meadow Lane.
Yeah, I heard that. Good morning, Mr. Morton.
Morning.
And is Jody Ferguson present?
It doesn't
Okay,
appear.
definitely.
If I may, Your Honor.
Yeah, go ahead, Mr. Morton.
Thank you. We appeared here previously on 7/19. At that point, she did not appear and we submitted a default judgment. But since that point, we can advise the court that Ms. Ferguson did submit payment in full. So we can proceed to submit a dismissal on this case. We weren't quite sure because of the previous hearing with the default already being with the court. Was it, how the court was going to proceed, but we have no objection of proceeding to dismiss this matter without prejudice based on the fact that payment has been received, which was received on the 26th, which would have been about 6-7 days after the last hearing date.
All right, well, I will accept a dismissal then. At this point, I'll set aside the default and will you, I assume you'll prepare an appropriate dismissal order then?
Yes, we will, Your Honor.
All right. Okay, anything else we need to discuss then, Mr. Morton?
No, Your Honor.
All right, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm glad things work. Right, next is Jeff Nixon versus Russell Johns, file 217097. And is Mr. Nixon present?
Yes.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Nixon. Can you try speaking more directly into your device?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, now I can hear you just fine.
Okay.
Is Russell Johns present? All right, it doesn't appear so. Give me just a minute here. Can you check service on
Sure.
this case?
Yeah.
For some reason, my on base is kind of slow.
Okay. Service, let's see. You're just talking service of the summons, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so date and time of service was Saturday, June 5th at 11 a.m. After diligent attempts at personal service by securely attaching the papers to the main entrance, so by attachment.
All right, and Mr. Nixon, you're just seeking a possession judgment at this time, is that correct?
That's correct.
You know, has the tenant moved out or are they still living there?
No, he hasn't been around for a long, long time. Since
Okay.
the last time I saw him was, I think in May. So,
Oh, really?
yeah,
Okay. Well, I will go ahead and enter a default judgment at this time then. And let's see, you have a right to recover possession of the property. And given that the defendant is apparently moved out, I'm going to go ahead and enter an order of immediate eviction.
okay.
All right, so a copy of that order will be sent to you and filed with the court. And is there anything else we need to discuss, Mr. Nixon?
No, that would be it.
All right, we're all
And that's
set for today.
that's immediate, so I don't have to wait the 10 days.
That's correct.
Okay.
All right, so we're all set for today then, and feel free to sign off at this time. And if you have any additional questions, Sue in our clerk's office would be glad to assist you, okay?
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, next we have file 7150 of 2021, and that is Frederick Otto versus Rachel Kilman. And let's see, I see Ms. Kilman here. Is Mr. Otto present?
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Good morning, Your Honor. This is Attorney Keith Cooney, on behalf of
oh,
Rachel.
Mr. Koonman, you're here on behalf of Ms. Kilman.
That's correct, Your Honor. I haven't had an opportunity to file an appearance because we've moved offices over the weekend. I've been working with Ms. Kilman to get the paperwork.
Okay, is this a Sarah application perhaps, or?
I don't think so. I've only seen the summons. I haven't seen the complaint, but I believe it's a termination of tenancy matter.
Okay. So, let's see, Mr. Otto, you are Mr. Otto, correct? It says Lautner on the screen.
I had to borrow a computer and I didn't know how to change it.
Okay. All right, Mr. Koonman is with the legal aid office, and have you had an opportunity to speak with Mr. Lautner at all about this?
No, I haven't, Your Honor.
Do you think it might make some sense to put you in a breakout room with him?
Yeah, certainly. If you could put me in a breakout room, I'd be happy to chat with him.
Okay. Before we do that, I do have some procedural requirements I need to comply with under the most recent administrative order from our Supreme Court. And so I'm sure Mr. Kuhnman's gone over these with you, Ms. Kilman, but please listen carefully. You have the right to counsel, and you've obviously sought that out through legal aid. And I need to also inform you that the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, the local coordinating entry agency, housing assessment and resource agency, or the Federal Help for Homeless Veterans Program may be able to assist the parties with payment of some or all of the rent due. You do not need a judgment to receive assistance through the Department of Health and Human Services or the other programs that I mentioned. The summons and complaint from the court case are sufficient for Health and Human Services. There's also a Michigan Community Dispute Resolution Program, or CDRP, and a local CDRP office that are possible sources of case resolution. And I would assist in ordering that if it were desired by the parties. I also need to mention the possibility of a conditional dismissal if approved by all parties, but all parties would need to consent to that disposition. So anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and put Mr. Kuhnman in a breakout room with Mr. Otto. So maybe you could let him know what you're thinking here, Mr. Kuhnman, okay?
Oh, very good, thank you.
The other thing I need to say is this is a pretrial, meaning by court order, I am required to give the parties 7 days prior to the next hearing. And actually, my next hearing for landlord tenant is 2 weeks out. Okay, so you'll need to accept the invitation that's going to pop up on your device, Mr. Otto. So please look for that. Do you want Ms. Kilman in the breakout room with you, Mr. Kuhnman?
No, thanks, Your Honor. Just the plaintiff will be fine.
Okay, great. All right, next we have file 217151. That is Clark Klaus versus Mike Branch. And it says Mr. McKellar's here for the plaintiff, but I don't see Mr. McKellar. Is there someone else here for Mr. Klaus? Is Mr. Klaus here? Apparently not. How about Mike Branch? Doesn't look like it. All right, I'm going to assume that case was resolved. So we'll go on to the file 217152 LT. Susan Onan Schwartz.
Present, Your Honor.
And okay, good morning. And that is Grand Traverse Independent Housing. And versus Delphus Kohlhoff. Is Mr. Kohlhoff present? Delphus Kohlhoff. Ms. Onan Schwartz, do you have any additional information about this case?
I can give you the quick background if that's acceptable.
Sure.
So Dell is the son of my brother who died last year, and he relocated to this area. He had reached out to me asking if I knew of any place to live because he was being evicted. So we have a overnight staffing room that we use predominantly in the wintertime for our maintenance guys, if they have to stay on site for plowing. And it's, got a little bit of a bathroom, a microwave, and a bed. And so I offered it to him, and he did move in there. However, he has caused a lot of disruption at the property. His friends started a fire in the bark. He's been smoking pot on the property. And so I've asked him to leave for over 2 months, and he refuses to leave.
Okay. All right, well, he has not appeared today. Ms. Odom, can you check service again?
Mm-hmm.
And for that reason, I would enter a default if he's been served by attachment.
Yep, served by attachment, July 22 at 9:40.
Okay, so defendant having failed to appear, it's now 8:49 a.m. Hearing is scheduled for 8:15 a.m. And so I will enter an order of, let's see, do you have an
Oh, I
order?
do, I think. Yes, I do. Yeah.
Here we go.
All right, I'll enter an order of default, and this is for eviction only. The plaintiff may recover the property if the defendant does not move out within 10 days. And 10 days from today's date, let's see, it's the 2nd, so that would be the 12th. Defendant may be liable for money damages if there is damage to the property. And were you receiving rent from him or not?
No, Your Honor.
Okay. All right, so I have signed the order. You'll need to contact the court about applying for a separate order of eviction if he hasn't moved out by August 12th. And I would sign that unless something else happens that I'm not aware of.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay,
Thank you.
all right. Thank you. Appreciate your appearance this morning. All right, I see Mr. Koonman and Mr. Otto are back, so let's see. Have you reached any type of agreement, Mr. Koonman, or where are we at with the case?
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. We did have a very productive conversation. I think that we've got some very good lines of communication going. We've exchanged email addresses. We have the parameters for a settlement in place. I just need to communicate that with my client. For the sake of judicial efficiency, I would request just that 2-week adjournment so we can work on getting the paperwork finalized and submitted to the court and entered, and hopefully have the case dismissed prior to 2 weeks from today. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Otto, is there anything that you'd like to add?
No, I'm gonna agree.
All right, so I will adjourn this out to our next landlord tenant date. Ms. Odom, when is that gonna be?
August 16th, Judge it. We'll do 8:15 again.
Okay, so August 16th at 8:15. Hopefully you'll get it worked out before then, and if you do, then I'll sign an order, and there'll be no need to appear on that day if that's the case, okay?
Okay, thank you.
So we are all set for today then, and feel free to sign out at this time if you like.
Rachel, I'll give you a call shortly here, okay? Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you, Keith. Thank
Welcome.
you, Your Honor.
You. All right, next is file 217153, K&M Property Management versus TC Mirror and Shower Door. And let's see, Mr. Armour is here on behalf of the plaintiff. And let's see, is it Mr. Montney here on behalf of the defendant?
No, Your Honor. I'm here on the plaintiff on a different matter.
If I may,
Okay.
Your Honor. I spoke with Dave Rowe. He was going to be here on behalf of TC Mirror and Shower Door. The parties reached an agreement Friday evening after court hours. And at this point, I'd like to ask the court for dismissal without prejudice. And then I will subsequently provide the court with an appropriate order.
All right, sounds good. And let's see, so no one from TC Mirror and Shower Door is present?
That's correct. I communicated with counsel for TC Mirror and Shower Door this morning, agreed to appear on behalf of both parties essentially and dismiss this matter.
All right. Okay, well, thank you, Mr. Armour. I appreciate it. And feel free to sign off. I'll look for the order of dismissal.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, so let's see. Next is file 217154 LT. And now Mr. Montney is here on behalf of Steiner Enterprises, and that is versus Jennifer Beebe, Seth Monk, Isaiah Monk, Jacqueline Monk, and all other occupants. And Mr. Koonman, I see you're still here. You're not here on behalf of the Monk and Beebe defendants, are you?
Thank you, Your Honor. Actually, I am here on behalf of the BB defendants. I didn't realize that it was co-defendants, but I am intending to represent them on this matter. Thank you.
All right. So would it make sense maybe for you and Mr. Montney to discuss this? This is a pre-trial today. It's the first hearing,
Yes.
and I don't see any of your clients here. Are they not planning to attend?
I don't know, Your Honor. I did email them this morning. I haven't heard back. We were communicating. They sent me some paperwork on Sunday. I don't know if they're just having technical difficulties, but I don't see them here either.
All right. Well, I'm going to put you in a breakout room with Mr. Montney, and you can discuss it, and we'll figure out where to go from there.
Very good. Thank you.
All right. And who do you have with you this morning, Mr. Montney?
Yes, Mr. Steiner is with me to my right.
Okay. Good morning, Mr. Steiner. And let's see. Give me just a second to create the breakout room. So neither party appeared in file 7151, this one.
Yeah.
And so I guess we'll dismiss. Or
Yes, that's okay, I can fix it
fail
here
to
soon.
prosecute. Failure to prosecute.
I think we just need to dismiss that case.
What case?
One where the parties didn't show.
That's what I said, is
Alright.
dismiss.
Failure to prosecute
Both
means.
parties failed to appear. Dismiss for failed to prosecute.
Okay.
All right, so we've got the attorneys, Mr. Steiner back, and Mr. Montney, where are we at with the case?
Your Honor, we're going to, sorry, Your Honor, we're going to request, I talked with obviously defendant's counsel, set this for I believe you said the 16th is your next date. Is that correct, Your Honor? I believe we've
Yes.
made an offer. We're going to wait and see if we can get it accepted by both sides. And then if it is accepted, then we'll have documents to Your Honor before the 16th.
Okay, well, that sounds good. Hopefully it'll work out for both sides. And Mr. Koonman, it's unusual, I don't have the defendants here, but you represent all defendants, or Mr. B, just BB?
I represent all defendants, Your Honor. I'll get an appearance into you just as soon as I can. I appreciate your willingness to work with me on that.
All right, the court is required to comply with the latest administrative order and go over the rights of the defendants. Can you assure me that you've done that or will do that
Yes,
timely? And
yep, I've discussed those rights with the tenants, and they're well aware of them, and I'd state that on the record.
okay, I figured that was the case. And is there anything else we need to take up at this time then?
Not from our end, Your Honor.
Not from the defense, thank you.
Okay, all right, well, thank you all for your appearance this morning, and feel free to sign off at this time. The hearing will be set for 8:15 on August 16th. Okay,
All right,
Thank
thank you.
you, Your
I'll see you then.
all right, thank you.
Okay.
All right, we'll be in recess until 10 o'clock.